So I'm watching the Tyson thing again, right? To talk about the fight and shit. And yo, you know what really got me thinking is who shows more. I mean, you see, Tyson is like he's flaunting. I think this is all like a way for him to come back, um, and relinquish, or I mean, vindicate himself from like that Holyfield, because all of a sudden now they coming out with all these bunch of videos about him and Paul, but from the sidelines you get opinions from like Lennox Lewis, Holyfield, of what they think about the fight, and then all of a sudden now you see them working out, playfully and shit, but they're not as serious as Tyson, and Mike is training, but I think over the years he showed like some type of like interest in wanting to come back, like who could do it now at their age, you know what I mean? Like, Holyfield and Lennox might have beat him back then, um, but who would win now? And this is what they're not talking about. They rather change the subject and throw it and talk about Paul, but would they want to fight him nowadays? You know what I mean? Like, I think Tyson is like hoping they would say yeah. So to see that fight would be a lot more interesting because now the people that grew up in my generation, right, who grew up on Tyson and shit, can compare, and you can see a young Tyson and an old Tyson fighting the same fighters, but the ones that beat him, and him like somehow showing, like vindicating himself, like he's doing a comeback and shit. And I think it's obvious, man, when you see who has more passion and who has more fury. Like, you don't see a Holyfield trying to like maintain that power it took for him to beat Tyson or Lennox Lewis. You know what I mean? But you see Tyson trying to stay up, like, yeah, let's do it again and see who wins, type of shit. But they're not gonna rematch, cause they in retirement. They all now they they think they done and shit like that, and they pretty are because you know what I mean. Would they rematch? Would they be brave enough to face him now at this age, or are they the type that be like, I beat him back then, I'll beat him now again, I'll beat him, you know what I mean? And then find out that they can't do it, So I don't know. It's all public opinion and up for the people to decide and stuff like that. But I would rather see that again because you know what I mean. We saw him get knocked out, and I think he's trying to rewrite history and show how he never lost those fights. You know what I mean? He lost to them when he was like on a weaker condition. Because if you think about it, he was kind of like he was in the drugs and he was going through a lot of cases and shit like that. So the stress was probably killing him, and you see it in the fight, like he's not into it and shit. Um, Damn, I'm using my memories, but this was a while back. I saw him when he fought Lennox or Holyfield, and you see him like he's not showing interest, you know, and like he didn't have it in him anymore. But now you see him at an older age, like he's like, man, I'm into this shit, and I'm gonna vindicate, get my shit back. Now that he's clean, he's more sober, shit like that. Less stress, you know what I mean? He's like sharp now. So I would say Lennox and Holyfield are afraid to fight him now that he's, in a sober mind. That would be a good fight to see though. You know what I mean? But it would be shifting the attention of the audience back to the fighters of the fucking 90s. I mean, it's up. It's, who don't, I mean, it's like I said, it's up to the public opinion. Who wants to relive the 90s with a different twist? You know what I mean? Like, you see them doing it with movies. You know what I mean? The remake of that, the remake of this. They get the 90s movies and then they try to redo it again. So I don't know. I think that's what they're trying to go for. Um, that would be good though. Like, it's just like something solace or something, what do you call those? Melancholy, like homesick or some shit. You want a taste of the '90s again, and you you want to relive it somehow by seeing the same players and shit. Um, let's see if it happens, man. Like I said, this stunt with Jake Paul. Now I'm starting to think it was all a stunt, cause hell no, he can't beat Tyson. You know what I mean? Like, just you can't. You know what I mean? You have no chance and shit. So it's more like a publicity stunt to watch him get knocked out and erase his career on boxing, but also shift your attention now that he won all that attention. And he could probably taunt Holyfield, Lennox, like, "What's up, nigga? I'm the champ still." I beat the exhibition, and I don't know. He was playfully fighting with Roy Jones, and like I said, he was holding it back. I don't know why we expect to see. We want to see this power in him. You know what I mean? And then hopefully he don't disappoint, man, because the videos are like, that could be like edited. I don't think it's edited, because sometimes I'm fast too, like that. He got some powerful punches, man. He's sharp. So yeah, man, that shit's gonna be good. I'm interested in that shit, and hopefully he you know he represents. That shit's gonna be. He gonna knock him out, man. He gonna go in there like, bah, bah, bah. Yeah, I can't wait to see that shit. Anyway, that's that with all of that.